is erect. I have a massive penis. Penis. Let's see how this works here. I have a massive penis. My penis is as massive as my leg. Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi.
My favorite person is
My
Nancy
favorite
Pelosi.
person is Nancy Pelosi.
Look at that. I wish that Nancy Pelosi was inside of my life.
I wish that Nancy Pelosi was inside of my life.
I want to have intercourse with Nancy Pelosi. I think that works, right? I feel like that works. I want to have sexual intercourse with Nancy Pelosi. Yes. Okay. See, I hear myself. I could also do live captions. Is that a thing? Live captions on YouTube? I think they're working on that, from my understanding. Thought I'd do a little bit of a tester stream on this phone. Why not? Why not? See if it looks better than the one in the comp, which I guess arguably maybe it's a little bit more consistent because it's not on a fucking Wi-Fi. It's on T-Mobile, which is still upsetting because you should still have Wi-Fi that provides a decent and somewhat stable stream. But apparently I can't find that. Apparently I can't find that. It's just going to be a retardation nation. But that's okay. I don't care. It's just YouTube. It's just YouTube holding down the man. That's not COVID. It's YouTube holding down the man. That's what it is. It's holding down the black man. And I feel like because of that, I'm going to have to persevere through. I'm going to have to struggle through it and persevere through YouTube suppressing me through their inadequate software. It's not my shitty internet. Notice, it's not my shitty internet. At no point am I taking any sort of the blame for it. I'm going to blame everything on YouTube because that's the way I do things. That's for sure. So I thought I'd do a little bit of a hot live stream. Why not? Why the fuck not? Test it out here. Do a tester from my phone. Not archive this because this is an atrocity. This is pretty much it's the equivalent of an audit. It's the equivalent of getting audited, right? And obviously, I don't have any sort of marketing ability because why would I just randomly stream? I should have a streaming schedule if I was intelligent, right? If I was with at least a small smidget of a brain, what I would do is that I would do a schedule, right, where I could say, hey, on these days I'm going to be streaming, right? Hey guys, on a video even, I'd say, hey, make sure to watch because I'd be streaming, right? I should do that, but instead, what I do like an asshole is that I decide to just randomly do it. I decide to randomly do it, which lets me know that I'm as retarded as anybody could be when it comes to pushing anything, trying to market myself, which would mean more eyes, more, possibly more revenue. I don't do any of that. I don't do any of that. You say, or a producer? I could probably do, I'm telling you, without even, I could probably on an entire bottle of Fireball do an entire episode of ham radio and not have any sort of problem happen. Whereas if I do it with you, I'm gonna have problems because you get distracted. You get distracted by absolutely anything. You'll get distracted by a text message. You'll get distracted by pretty much anything and everything that takes place. So I don't understand what you mean by producer. If anything, you mean a roadblock, I guess, right? Roadblock. You're more of a roadblock. Let me lower this. I don't know why. I thought aesthetically I could raise this. This is better. If I do it this way, right? Is that better? No, that's not better. Let me raise this up a little bit. This is why. This is why. I've been AWOL, still a Piggy patron, because it lets me pretend I'm ever going to work again. Anyway, I watch in silence for a bit, inspire me, man. That's odd. I appreciate it, though, definitely, if you're a patron. I do put 90% of my effort and attention to patrons, so I've been getting good responses there, I hope. People still leave nice comments about it. They tell me all the time, hey, man, this is great. I've seen threads about it online. I've seen threads about it online, asking people if it's worth it, and people coming in, chiming in, and saying, "Hey, man, thank you. Yeah, thank you for making a thread about this, because yeah, that's what's up." Hey, petting greetings from Brazil. I would make some sort of Brazil related reference and some sort of a joke at the expense of Brazil, just because Daniel happens to be having intercourse with a Brazilian person that he's going to be moving into relatively soon, and the fact that you have a phone in Brazil to me is it's a magic mystery because in my head it's like what I imagine downtown Cairo and Egypt to be, right? Where you go there and you're gonna get your shit stolen immediately. You're gonna get your shit stolen immediately. You know what I hate? I hate the consistency of this fucking stream from my phone, literally from a T-Mobile account. That's what I hate about this. Whereas when I stream from my computer and I have a nice little bit of production, I put a little bit of a stinger, right? It doesn't, it's never stable. It's always shite. Whereas this T-Mobile thing at least is a little bit more consistent and somewhat looks decent. I see it here. I mean, the frame rate's absolutely shit, but let me see if I could max this up. Let me see how high I could go here. So I'm gonna go to 720p and see how that looks like. Wow, this is really what I've been looking like. That's shite. I guess it's expected of a person from my stature. You know, it'd be great if over here, right? It'd be fantastic if over here, like in the kitchen, I just see somebody walk by, um, and just see it in the background of the video. That'd be tremendous. I'm pretty sure at that point I'd leave. I'd leave. I don't know where I'd go. I'd definitely move, probably under a bridge, somewhere where there's no specter that's gonna come and get me. Hey, pig, do you like people? No, I don't like people. I don't like people. I was actually talking to Spidey yesterday over Instagram. Does mentalism stuff. I was going over a video that I wanted him to put on a shit, and we're talking about magicians and how magicians are terrible people. And I imagine you're talking about people in general, but we're talking about just magicians specifically, and how magicians think that they're the cream of the crop, and they're the best, and their shits don't stink, but their shits smell the most because of their diet of Cheetos and watermelon Mountain Dew, I guess. I want to end my life. Why do you have a saw by your door? Emergency escape effect? That's not, where are you talking about? You're talking about this one, I imagine. That's saw. That's a Pigcake branded saw, which is given to me by a great person who made a bunch of stuff for me. Dan Pizza. I don't know where he's at, but Dan Pizza, I love that guy. He's a tremendously creative, very knowledgeable individual, and he made me a Pigcake branded saw that I cherish very much because of the effort that he took, the time, the dedication, the detail. My guy is a genius, and he's great. He's been a little bit out. I haven't heard from him. I really hope he's doing fine, especially with all this COVID shit, because Lord knows it's hit a lot of us pretty rough. But yeah, he made me that saw, and I'm very gracious. He used to comment all the time and do all the stuff, but yeah, he decided to send me that. He sent me a bunch of shirts that he made for me. So tremendous, tremendous dude over there. Let's see. Do I have a gun? Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, I do not have a gun. I wanted to, but I'm cheap. That's one thing that I think it's something that I'm never going to be able to skew. It's my cheapness. I'm very cheap when it comes to things, and what I do, because I'm a retard. Don't do this. All right, this is something that you shouldn't do. What I do is that because I'm an idiot, I'll buy something of lower quality because it's cheaper, and then it's going to break, right? Inevitably it's going to break because it's not of higher quality, and higher quality doesn't necessarily mean more cost, but most of the time it does, right? So I'd rather get something that's cheaper and is going to break rather than actually take the time to buy it once, cry once, right? That's the philosophy. Buy once, cry once. You buy it once, you cry once, and then you have it. Whereas I like to buy it at a substantial discount. Oh, COVID cough, and then complain when it breaks or complain when it stops working. So that's what I do. I could get a gun for 500. Yeah, I know they're not super crazy. 500 is still way more than I'm willing to pay though, especially at one time for something that I'm not going to be using. Right? It's like it's a preventive measure. Yeah, that is true, and it is something that I would like to get, but it's at this point, if I'm buying a gun, I feel like I am also making other irrational and irresponsible financial decisions. So it's a good thing that I haven't bought a gun. So that's just a gun. Never hope you need it. Yeah, it's not like for example, if I spend 500 bucks on a lens, right? I'm using the lens, boys. All right, I'm gonna use that lens on a daily basis. I'm gonna use that whatever I get. A gun, it's just gonna be there. It's just gonna be there. Now, when I do need it, it's like a toilet plunger, right? You never want to be in the case where you need to buy a toilet plunger. You always want to have it at hand. Same thing with a gun. You never want to be in a situation where you need to get a gun, right? Or where you oh shit, I wish I had a gun at this moment because I would have saved the lives of 14 people and this one Rottweiler, right? So unfortunately, it's the same sort of concept there, but at a little bit more of a steep price. And because I am infinitely cheap with absolutely everything, even this, for example, this is a light, right? This is a light right here that I bought recently because I wanted to add a little bit of production value to my videos, right? Who would have thought? Who would have thought, right? And that light is based on one that is $100. It's based on one that's $100. Did I buy the one that's $100, which is a lot easier to use, a lot more intuitive? You could connect to your phone. No, I bought a knockoff. I bought a knockoff. When that breaks, I'm gonna complain. I'm gonna bitch. I'm gonna moan, and I'm gonna realize that I should have just cried once and bite it once, as opposed to what I do, which is complain, and moan when something that I bought because I'm cheap breaks. So we'll see how long this lasts, but I think it looks pretty cool. It has like a lot of modes. It's rechargeable. You could look at this nice little pink hue. I've been using it in the videos recently, and it was a fraction of the cost. The one that was $100. So because of that, I feel at some point it's gonna break. It's gonna break. Can you please insult me? It says BVS Sackett, where your last name rhymes with right? YouTube almost got me there. But I'm pretty sure if I say your name 3 times fast, my furniture is gonna start levitating. So I don't wanna do that right now. But I mean, your life enough is an insult. How's that? I hope that was enough to satisfy your or satiate your need to get insulted, right? Let's see. You'd be more badass if you had a gun. It would be. It would be. And I would like to have one. But again, I'm not going to get a gun. All right. I'm going to get a gun when I'm at the point where I'm having this sort of money, right? When I'm doing this. And even then, I'm going to be very cheap. Even then, I'm going to be very extraordinarily cheap. And I feel like that's something I got from my father. And having conversations with my mother about my father, because I never knew my father, I found out that he was a very cheap man to the point where he almost killed himself because he would eat rotten food. He would not rely on any sort of expiration date. To him, they were just mere suggestions. I guess that's what happens when your dad is a dirty, disgusting Arabic man, right? So because of that, he would eat food that was rotten and pretty much fuck that. No audio. Of course, there's fucking audio. All right, you cunt. Don't say there's no audio. Look at that. Look at that. Live. Cunt. All right, you bitch. I'm not gonna fall prey to your troll. All right, I know the audio is consistent. I could see the levels right there. I have a little bit of a Rode mic here, and that's connected, and I see it. You gunt, you absolute gunt, you fupa, you fucking fat upper pussy area. You know what that is? Like if you ever look at a woman, and I've seen a front fupa and I've seen a back fupa at certain places. So I've seen like a back fupa. So you have like back fat and then you have front fat. And then you have this thing, right? Where you're so big that your shoulders are pretty much non existent and it just rests on your stomach. I've seen that. We get a lot of that at certain stores down here. And then you also have massive biceps. You usually see them working at grocery stores. The bicep isn't because of exercise, it's because of fat. Fat, fat, fat. To quote one of my favorite movies, Kiki's um, Adventure, Kiki's Delivery Service. There you go. Just my that's my virgin reference of the day. Right, that's my virgin reference of the day. You said the cop guts. Yeah, I had a friend who was he went to he was a police officer and then he went to the army, and he told me the cop test was a joke and they don't check up on you. So once you pass that initial thing, that initial test to see if you're worthy and if you're physically fit, the physical fitness test, they don't have to have any sort of reason as to why they need to stay that way. Some people do it because, I imagine if you're a cop, you want to be a cop for a certain reason, and it has a sort of It attracts a certain individual that isn't a physically fit person, but I don't think they stay that way. I don't think they stay that way from what I've seen, and there's no requirement for them to have any sort of continual fitness exams. It's what I want to do if I'm ever president. If I'm ever this guy, right, MAGA Joe Biden, right now, Joe Biden wearing a MAGA hat. If I'm ever MAGA Joe Biden, I would have it mandatory that you would have to have a new license test for driving. You would have to have it every 2 years. Every 2 to 3 years, some guy's gonna knock on your door, and you're gonna have to drive him around a block, and you're gonna have to go through a driving exam every 2 years. Look how many jobs it's gonna create, right? It's gonna create so many jobs because you're gonna have people that do that job, and you're also gonna create better drivers, so it's gonna be less accidents, and it's gonna be more stringent. Look at that. How much of a good plan is that? I'm sure better than anything that's happened so far, right? Let's ask him. Hey, how do you feel? Hey, wake up, wake up. He's having nap time right now. It's 8 o'clock. He's usually when he falls asleep. So Bigfoot was responsible for the attacks on Twin Towers in September 11th. We can't let this hairy rascal keep getting away with it. Oh boy. That's rough. That's the sort of comment that I expect on a Pigcake live stream. So I appreciate you, Robert Dobbs, for saying something like that. It definitely is in line with the sort of content that you would expect on this channel. And we can't have that. Kiki to her cat, voiced by Phil Hartman before his wife killed him. Thank you, Stephen Humphrey, for that great reference. You know, I didn't realize it was Phil fucking Hartman. Thank you for losing or making me lose my mind as to realizing that it was Phil Hartman, which is why the cat had such a great personality. And that's one of my favorite movies. And I ended up, I think that's one of the Studio Ghibli films that made me cry. Not because the ending was sad, but because how nice it was. Just how nice. I just bawled my eyes out. And this was this year, by the way, earlier this year, or in 2020. So that was my experiences. I've been trying to watch all of them, but there's a couple that I didn't get. I thought they were all great. I thought they were all masterpieces. No, there's a couple shite ones that I had to sift through. Why does your mom call me Papo? And why does she call herself the White Wizard? Says Kim Jong-un official. Well, my mother is a Cuban woman, right? She's a Latin American woman. She's Cuban. And Papo is a term of endearment, right? When you say Papo, it's like, hey, papito, or hey, Papo, or hey, fucking, like it's a term of endearment. You say it like hey, son, almost, right? Papo, you could refer to Papo as someone younger than you. You wouldn't say it to somebody older than you. You wouldn't be like, hey, Papo, come here. That's fucking gross. But she says it as a term of endearment to me. Hey, Papo this or Papo that, or it's a very Cuban thing or Latin American thing. But I guess I only have reference to one, which is her calling me Papo. And she refers to herself as a white wizard because she believes that she's a wizard of the white nature, meaning that she does pure magic. My mom is a psychic by profession, and she's a great woman. She's a wonderful woman. Unfortunately, she thinks that she is a wizard, and that's legitimate. Let's see. I always loved Howl's Moving Castle as a kid. That's another one that didn't make sense. It was great. It was a wonderful movie, but I didn't get it. Like it wasn't. It didn't make sense. A lot of things in the movie didn't make sense, and I think it was just aesthetically nice, and the characters were great, and I loved it, and it was one of the best ones. But if you really took a little bit of time and you said, why does he do this, or why doesn't he realize, or why does it starts to fall apart? It's one of those unfortunate things. But the rest of the movie is fucking tremendous. I should get a PS4. My friend is giving me a PS4 because he got a PS5, and it's in his house, and I have yet to bring it over. I see it there every time I go over, and I haven't brought it because I'm a fucking lazy piece of shit. So I technically have one. I just haven't gotten it. I don't like playing games anyways. I'm not a huge fan of playing games. I'll play something for, whatever game comes out. For example, let's say Doom. Doom comes out. I'll play it. I'll binge it, and then I won't play a game for another fucking year. But I'll spend, 90 hours on a game at one time, and then that's it. It's out of my system. So that's about it. Thoughts on short hair versus long hair for guys? Depends. So look at this. This is what I've been dealing with, right? This is what I've been dealing with here. putting various oils on my head to hope that the thickness, obviously the hairline is pretty far back, right? I don't have the Max Maven. Uh, I'm also not a homo, but I don't have the Max Maven yet, and I don't intend to. But I dig it. I dig it. I'm kind of happy that for the first time I've been able to grow my hair out. I've always had a Jufro in my life. It's always been kind of this way, and I've never took the time to care. But now I care about it. As a matter of fact, I just went and I bought a brush and I bought a comb and I bought a special thing for it. So I've been putting castor oil, mixing it with lavender. Your boy's out here. Your boy's killing it. Okay. So depends on the dude. Although here's the thing: every time I go to a bar and I see a dude with a man bun like what I have, right? Every time I see that, I contemplate just getting a steak knife and chopping it off on the spot. And usually it's the same type of guy, right? It's the dudes that kind of look like they have a shirt that says uh, Hillary. I know. I believe that she'll win. All right, it's those type of guys. Not making any sort of political commentary here, but it's those type of guys, right? They walk in, you think it's those guys, and I don't want to be associated with those individuals. But even though, unfortunately, there's only one practical way to hold my hair up, and that's that. That's that. So, bro, there's a video of one of your favorite TikTok magicians rapping. You got to do a commentary on it. Who's my favorite TikTok magician? I don't watch any TikTok Magic. I don't watch any TikTok Magic, which is good. I mean, shit. If you look at my Instagram Explore feed, it's working out and card stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to. But my TikTok is all good things. It's women twerking, it's life hacks, it's funny shit, it's certain things, and then it's also not workout stuff, but there's like camera shit. That's the sort of stuff that I like, as opposed to fucking my shite Instagram. So I don't see magic stuff. If I start seeing magic stuff, it's gonna show up more and more. As a matter of fact, every time a magic trick goes up, I go not interested. Not because I don't want to support the other person, but because I just don't want to see that on my TikTok. But I don't know who you're referring to. Sad magician, I need to see this post. Poke the link. Post the link, bitch. Says Boulder Guy. Boulder Guy, which used to be my nickname in high school, when I'd boulder the bitches. Homo, thanks to COVID, we're all homos. I like it. Well, some more than others. From my understanding, the UK, with their beautiful blue passports, are that guy's so funny. I mean, you guys are locked down till June. We're essentially me being in Florida, ungiving of any fucks whatsoever. So not giving of any fucks whatsoever in regards to COVID. We are locked down technically. We do have curfews and all this stuff, but over here it's pretty decent. You do have to. I fucking hate masks. I hate them. I feel claustrophobic. I'm gonna go to Disney in a couple days, and I'm already apprehensive about the fact that I have to have a mask on as I'm walking through the park, which is already a dread to begin with. It's the fucking biggest scam of life. But I have one that's enough for you to say, "Hey, he's wearing a mask," because that's one thing that I was gonna bring this up on my world famous podcast, Ham Radio, if Daniel's still around. I was gonna bring it up because I saw a video, speaking of TikTok, about a mask Karen. Right? There are mask Karens now. So anytime there's any sort of huge issue or huge thing that takes place, whether or not that's something like a pandemic like this, or there's some over encompassing issue, the Karens come out of the woodworks. The Karens come out and they say, "This is my time." Because now I'm going to make sure that I enforce whatever it is that is going on, and I'm going to be the one that's going to enforce it. And you always have these usually divorced women come up and say something to you about something that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing. I get that if I have my mask down, it's to take a breath, right? It's just, why are you coming up to me to tell me that it's down? I know it's down. I'm breathing. I'm aware of it. I'm holding it. So the video that I saw recently was a guy that had a mask that was his face printed on it, and she's bitching at him. I wish I could show it here, but she's bitching at him, and he goes, "I am wearing a mask," and he pulls down his fake face mask, and she still goes, "Now why the fuck are you wearing that? That's not funny. That's not cool. That's not fun." God, these guys are ridiculous. She turns around. She couldn't admit to being wrong. She couldn't admit to being wrong, which is a trait of a Karen, and something that they all have. And it's just like fuck you, mind your own business. I'm not in your face coughing. I get that. We're all supposed to be doing this. We're all supposed to be fucking covering up and making sure that we're not spreading it or whatnot. But at the same time, mind your own fucking business, right? Go bother your ex-husband. Don't bother me. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in person. It's the worst thing ever because it's like somebody walking up to somebody in a store. Hey, excuse me, put your mask on. It's like fuck. What the fuck told you? Are you the fucking dean of the mask all of a sudden? I've been Karen while I was wearing a mask, covering my nose. Even apparently, I was still doing it wrong. What did she say to you, Steven? What did she say to you, or Stefan? Stefan. You know what that is? That's like what's that name? Ether, right? Esther. It's like a weird sort of pronunciation. So for you, it's Stefan, or Stephen, or Steven, which is I guess the normal one. So answer both of those for me if you can. In the UK, it's a shitfest here. Would rather be in Florida. Got a fuckload of hate from Virgin Magicians for being able to perform at the few gigs I had. I hate magicians. Yeah, that's one thing that I did notice, by the way. I did see a couple posts on Instagram maybe a couple months ago that was like this dude doing a trick for like a cop, right? And he got a couple posts that were pretty fucking annoying by mask Karens, again, or magician Karens, that they were telling him, like, excuse me, first of all, you're performing for a cop. And I don't know if you know this, but ACAB, Emily ACAB is now typing, okay? Stop that. You don't want to be performing for them. They're not people. That's the first comment that I saw. The other comment is, excuse me, you're not wearing a mask while performing. What are you doing? I rather you wear a mask, even though the performance was great. He did like a nice card trick for the cop. The cop reacted, and it was a moment of levity among what otherwise is a disastrous time period in human history, or at least in our modern history. Because compared to other stuff, this is definitely a walk in the park. But in modern times, I would say this is a pretty atrocious time period. But you have all these cunts that are making these. It's a nice moment. He's doing a trick for a cop. Shut the fuck up. Stop it. Stop it. Let's see. Esther is my dead name. Don't dead name me. I don't know. I think I believe that. I believe that. Especially now. I remember in my previous gig, I was involved with you had clubs after school, and some of the clubs would need a sponsor, right? So I was a sponsor of a club that was of the um, kind that is in love with its own kind, if that makes sense. And they had a presentation one day in the club meeting. I just sit in there because I could grade while they're doing their meeting, and I'd listen on their stuff. And they had a PowerPoint about pronouns and dead names and flags and stuff. And I was very taken aback by the whole thing. Karen said my mask was too thin. She said I needed to do a double mask. I should tell her that I would double glove with her. That would be great. Yeah, that would have been a good response. Fucking just double glove that bitch. Especially do it like, do you give her one of these? Or I've seen this on TikTok where they lift you up from their vag, right? So they just come up behind you and lift you up from your vagina, consensually, obviously, of course. And that's something I've seen. So you should have done that to her. So now, could you imagine? Not only are they, if that's the case, I really hope that that's not a common thing that's taking place. But how annoying is that? Not only is it, hey, put your mask on, right? Don't be around me with the mask off. But it's, excuse me, but you're not doing it right. I know you have it over the nose, but I could still see through it. You could have spit follicles or spit go through it, sir, ma'am. So that I would not have a good day with that. That person will not have a good day if they said that to me. I remember I determined in my life when I realized I'm not going to take shit from strangers. And it is one time I was in line at the grocery store in Publix, and I was talking to my friend, and I said, yeah, dude, that bitch she sucks. I hate that. I fucking hate that. Right? As I do. I talk, I curse. It's language. I understand language. I use it. If I'm cursing, it's because it's part of how I was raised. All right? She turns around and she goes, you need to stop cursing. And then she turns around and didn't say anything else. In hindsight, what I should have done was I should have said, what? I couldn't hear you because I don't speak cunt. I don't speak stupid cunt. All right, bitch, we're waiting for meat at groceries. Fuck off if you didn't think that you were gonna hear fucking dirty words around you. I'm sorry that you wanna have such a precious life that a little bit of a fucking dirty word is enough to ruin your day, you vapid bitch. I should have said that. I didn't say that. What I said was, fuck is her problem? Right? The fuck? And that's when I realized I'm not gonna take shit from strangers. I'm not gonna take shit from strangers, especially these strangers that they want to have a fucking such a cozy time. Everywhere they go, they don't feel offended. They don't feel any sort of displeasure whatsoever. They want to have this perfect life. Fuck that. Fuck that. We're all meant to struggle here, bitch. You struggle like I'm struggling. All right, you hoe. Policing my fucking. Fuck is a tremendous word. If you have a problem with the word fuck, I think that it's because you have an inadequate understanding of language and the many uses of the word fuck. It could be used as anything. You could use it to indicate a person, a place, a thing. It could be used before words. It could be used to enhance words. It's a beautiful word. It's a beautiful word. It's a multi-purpose word. So that's my mentality about that. How come magic doesn't get me pussy like I thought it would? Well, what type of magic are you doing, Thomas? Azure? What type of magic are you doing? That also depends on it, right? If you're busting out your sponge balls on a wench, well, I don't think that she's going to be playing with your real balls because you're showing her many things. You're showing her many things. First of all, you're showing her that you've taken the time to carry these pieces of sponge on you. And I've had arguments with magicians over comments. I haven't had any controversy, not controversy, sorry, argument like this, which I wish I could have with a magician over sponge balls, because there's no way to win that. There's no way to win an argument about carrying sponge balls. Yeah, oh my God, they get great reactions. People love them. They come back to me and they want to do, all these things. You're carrying around pieces of sponge inside of your pocket, inside of a God. I'm fucking shaking out of anger at the thought of you carrying a sponge ball in an invisible coin purse. I get it. It's novel. If you're doing a show where they come to you and you know that you are the magician, right? Yeah, have your sponge balls because then it's a different sort of context. They're coming to see you. They know you're a magician. They know that there's going to be stuff involved, whether that's a deck of playing cards, sponge balls. If you work for a restaurant, right? Let's say you work for a restaurant. Why can't you just go up to somebody and be like, "Hi, I'm the magician. I'm the wandering magician, and I'm wondering if you'd like to see a card trick." It's part of the it's germane to the situation, right? It's normal. But if you're just a random dude and somebody in a social situation asks you what it is that you do, and you say, I do a lot of things, but my passion is magic. I really like doing magic tricks. And they go, oh, that's crazy. Could you show me something? And you go, yeah, sure. I have this here. Could you hold that? No, no, I can't hold that. As a matter of fact, I want you to turn around and leave. Get into your rental, all right? Get into your mother's car and drive off because I have never been more insulted than you asking me to hold a piece of sponge that you took out of your pocket. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is why your father left you. No cap, magic gets all the girls. If you use the word cap in front of me, let's say we're at a convention, right? Let's say we're at a convention. I don't know. And you go, hey, man, no cap, you're really great. To quote my new favorite UFC fighter, Jorge Masvidal, there's a toll to pay. There's a toll to pay, okay? If you come at me and you say no cap, hey, man, we're about to do it. We're about to do it. Do you plan to tour the country after the vaccine and lecture on magic? I do. I did get an offer. I got an offer. Funny enough, I haven't replied to the email, but I've been working on a lecture for quite some time now. I'm proud of what I have. I think it's a good one. It's very simple shit. Spread force, things like that. Acans. There's some mentalism in there. So I'm really proud of the stuff in the lecture. There's a lot of conversation in it. I'm working on lecture notes. Funny enough, I teased that on Instagram, but I'm actually actively working on those. And somebody, one of these magic groups, offered me to do a virtual one. But I would love to do it. I would love to do it, especially in person. I don't know how. I would do it, right? I would. I'm sure probably have to reach out to people. Hey, I do YouTube stuff. Here are my credentials, right? 50,000 followers. don't say, don't show them how long I've been doing it for, though. Don't show them how much. Don't do that. Just pretend that I have at least a little bit of a following, and but I'd love to do that. I'd definitely love to do that. Especially in person. I hate this virtual shit. I guess I have to do the virtual one for these people that offered me one, but I rather do it in person. I rather do it and just have it there and fucking, to have this interaction of face to face. I much prefer that than dealing with a Zoom lecture where I'm like, hey guys, hey little boxes, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna pick let's see, I'm gonna pick you. Could you help me out? Yeah, I'm gonna click on your box here. Yeah, your microphone. Your parents are fighting in the background. Yeah, could you mute that, please? Never mind. Let me pick somebody else that isn't Mexican. Uh, okay, you look white. You know, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. I'm 6'5". Let's go. No cap. You're 6'5". You know what? You know who also makes fun of me for being short and says, "Oh, it'll kill you." Fucking Peter Turner. Peter Turner all the time makes fun of me for being a short individual. But here's the thing that you don't understand and you don't get. All right, I'm a hungry motherfucker. Okay, all right. When you're shorter, you have to work harder. You're hungrier. All right. You have the advantage because you're taller. And you think, hey, whatever, I'm taller. I have, 100 pounds over him. What you don't take in account is my tenacity. All right. You knock me down, I'm coming back up. All right. I'm going to wear you out. I'm going to come at your knees. I'm going to fucking get your weak knees that are holding your massive frame. All right. Who would have thought that? And you know what? Tall people live shorter lives. All right. So I'm already going to take advantage of that. I'm going to take advantage of that and work my fucking magic on your lower body. All right. Not sexually. And at that point, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when your foundation is crumbled? All right. You can't stay up talking or you can't stay up standing if your fucking knees are shot. Right. And guess what? I'm right there. I'm right at your knees. So I'm just going to be fucking pounding on your knees until you can't even fucking do it. So come at me. Doesn't matter if I'm short. All right. Doesn't matter if I'm short. Because again, your boy is a fucking fireball. All right. I'm going to zoom in on this shit. Bitch. Stupid ass bitch. Fucking Peter Turner ass bitch. Making fun of my height. You height elitist. That's fucking racist. I'm Arabic. All right. That's fucking racist. Uh, Chris, Pigcake, you are the goat. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Good to see you around. I'd suck your penis if you were here. As a matter of fact, I'd probably do one of these chicken heads. One of these. You know what I'm saying? Work the shaft. Sorry, the balls, and then lick the frenulum. Piggy, how's your favorite mammal doing? Being small could be a big advantage while looking for stuff under the bed. It's also advantageous for a lot of things, such as, and not limited to, taking down bigger dudes. All right? Just work. I'm just going to do my Billy Blanks legs, right? I'm just going to be hitting at your kneecap, just like this. Eventually, after a minute, all right, one of them's going to give. And let me tell you, my friend, it's not going to be my leg, all right? And this Sunday at Summerfest, I'm going to take you down and I'm going to get my girlfriend back. That was a wrestling promo. That was a shitty wrestling promo. Hey, you're barefoot. Zoom in, man. Feed my foot fetish. Again, I believe that. I believe that you have a foot fetish for sure. I don't doubt that, especially from anyone commenting on any one of my streams. And you think I will let you do that? You're not gonna have a choice, all right? Because what you're not gonna know, or what you're not gonna realize, is that I'm gonna put some fucking one of these over your water, all right, the day before, because that's how fucking next level I am. Not only am I advanced in my body and my short height, because again at the fucking knees, but I'm also mentally more advanced. So I'm gonna do one of these on your water, big guy. All right, you know what I'm talking about? One of these. The club moves, you know what I'm saying? You walk by and you do one of these. That's not a funny joke, but I'm gonna do one of these on your water. You're gonna drink it and be like, wow, why am I tired? And then you're gonna wake up and you're gonna wake up to a pounding. Wake up to, man, I want to. Oh, you got me heated, boy. You got me wanting to take out my revenge. All right. on a cardboard cutout of our 46th president, Joseph Biden. All right. But he's asleep right now. You're lucky that it's his nap time. It's 9 o'clock. He's very sleepy. He's done a lot of stuff today. Right? He woke. Oh, I got to speak low. I don't want to wake him up. All right. MAGA Joe Biden. He's, let me tell you, I didn't want to have a pet. A pet is too much responsibility. Right? And I don't know. I didn't ask for this. I just woke up one day and somebody brought it. So somebody brought it in here and now I have to take care of it. That's what she said. You're right. That's what she said. All right. And that's what I said after I did one of these on her. Never mind. Piggy has the small man advantages. Don't fuck with a dwarven brother. Thank you. Right there. Short Kings. Short Kings representing, dog. That's what I'm talking about. Short Kings representing. Let's see. I have muscular tree trunks. It says CJG. That's one thing that I've seen, by the way. Why did if you're a bodybuilder, you're really athletic, you work out, you do you have a normal human normal human activities. Why do magic tricks? Why bring yourself down and do magic tricks? What's wrong that you decide to do magic tricks? Every time I see the Rise Magic kids, I call them kids, right? Look at that. I call them kids. Every time I see the Rise Magic boys, I'm wondering, you guys were chiseled out of marble. I think one of them is 7'2" or 7 feet. I know one of them is 6'8", and I think the other one is 7 feet, right? So that's literally substantially taller than I am, right? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why? Why are you doing magic? You have a six pack. You have, you could dunk without even having to jump more than a little bit. You could just fucking hop and you dunk. So what is it? Why is it that you've ruined yourself by doing magic tricks? Go out there, all right? Stop it. What's that, MJ? The Michael Jordan? Stop it. Get some help, right? Pigcake, that mirror gonna get you on wicked feet, right? Yeah, I've noticed that. I get made fun of. There are certain people that I know in real life that make fun of my videos every time I post something on Instagram, and they go, "Ha, I bet you're barefoot, you nasty fuck." You know what? It's part of my culture. All right, both my cultures, which is, by the way, very racist for you to downplay things that are normal in my culture. All right, if you make fun of me for being barefoot outside or maybe being barefoot indoors, that's racist as shit. Okay, but both my cultures are always barefoot. The dirty, disgusting Arabic people are barefoot, and the Latin American ones are barefoot. They're always there working on the finca, all right, working on la finca with the fucking, with the feet and the worms inside. That's what we deal with in el campo, okay? Doña Martina, like a novela. Oh boy, I want to take out my anger on them all. Thoughts on Zach King? I mean, he's very wealthy. It's very creative. It's cringy. He definitely won. Whatever it is that I could say about him, he won. He won the game. You made money doing stuff. You know, what's do stuff with Rise Magic? No cap. No cap has a price to pay, my friend. Okay. No cap has a price to pay, and it's this fist. But yeah, apparently I might be able to be in a position where, hopefully in a couple months, I'll be able to do some stuff with the Rise Magic boys. They told me a bit of information that I don't know if I could share, but it's going to put me in a position where I could definitely work with them. And that's going to be something that's going to be fun to do. So I can't wait for that. I've been wanting to do a video with them for, I don't know, fucking 3 years now, 4 years. They used to have 5,000 subs when I had 30,000. And I'm like, these guys, I know they're going to pass me. I know they're going to pass me. But I want to be up there when they pass me. And it's a little jealousy. All right, a little bit of jealousy there. I got to admit. They killed it with the ASMR stuff. And I don't think anybody deserves success like those individuals. Grant, he's fucking tremendous. I'm sure that he could probably step over me, right? Without even fucking putting any sort of effort. But hopefully we could do something soon. I mean, not in the next month, but next couple months. What do you think of magicians like Jay Sankey, by the way? He's gotten a lot of shit after Penn and Teller thing. Yeah, I guess. He wanted to do something. I'm a fanboy of Jay Sankey. So unfortunately, I'm very biased when it comes to that. I still think it was a kind of a stupid stunt, to go up there and be like, I fooled you in the way that you didn't realize that you were being fooled. Yeah, okay. Okay. But I love Jay Sankey. He's a tremendous guy. I want to fucking do stuff to his head. I want to rub his head, put oil on it, and then slip and slide. Have him do a slip and slide right into my frenulum. That's what I would love to do with Jay Sankey. He messages me from time to time on Instagram. He had a nice conversation with me over the phone a couple months ago, telling me, "Hey, you're doing great. I think that you're limiting yourself doing magic." He told me a lot of stuff, which I obviously took in heavy consideration. But he's a tremendous guy, man. I'm a huge fan of Jay Sankey because he was pretty much the guy that inspired me to start doing fucking magic. It was the first trick I ever bought in my entire life that I convinced my mother was fucking airtight. He threw it in there. He threw that balloon in there. I remember seeing the demo video, and I'm like, I'm gonna get so much middle school pussy with this fucking balloon thing. I'm gonna be going around just slamming shit in balloons. Hey, give me that guitar. Boom, fucking airtight, bitch. Didn't expect that, huh? Give me that baby. Boom, gotcha. Try to get that bitch out of there, huh? You better hurry up. Running out of breath. Running out of precious breath. I wanted to do that. Then I found out the method was pretty rough. You gotta open the thing, you gotta do the thing, you gotta put the thing in the thing. And it was a little bit rough. I remember having to do it by putting my feet. So I'd put the deck between my feet, and then I'd have to fucking stretch that motherfucker out, like I was a gyno. And it was at like I was a gyno at a, that's like a kind of like a pedo joke. I can't make that. I was gonna say like I'm a gyno, but I specialize in virgins, so it's tight. I can't, that's not a good joke, but it's really hard to stretch the balloons. And when you bought it in Penguin Magic, they gave you these white balloons that I'm not even kidding were harder to pull than resistance bands. Like you pulled them motherfuckers, and I don't know what company, what poor sweatshop they got these balloons from, but they're the hardest things to pull open. I remember that as a adolescent. I remember doing it once on somebody and they lost their shit. They lost their shit. How the fuck did you get that deck? Black kid. I remember it was a black kid and a bunch of his black friends. I had to be specific, right? So I remember doing that, and they lost their shit. It was like, oh shit, what the fuck? That shit was great. I miss doing magic tricks for, for black people. They're the best. They're the best, man. You do a trick for them. It could be anything. It could be fucking anything. You could do this. Let's see how shitty, right? Let's see what I could do here. I have two cards. You could do this. You could do that for like a person of color, and they're gonna run out into the middle of the street and scream, "Oh shit!" I know because that's I've done that, and it's been that and Mexicans. And Mexicans are very they react like you want them to. So if you want to do a video, make sure that you're performing for either a Mexican or a black. Those are great. Uh, let's see, lecture notes. That fooled me. That's great. You're the real COVID. Lost your audience. That's the. I was did a live stream yesterday. I've realized that. Yeah, I've never had a fucking audience. I've never had an audience. I've only had a. It's always been like this. It's always been this, right? So even when I started the channel, I got people watching my stuff, but I've never been like, oh shit, right? Yeah, I've amassed I guess following on YouTube and whatnot, and fucking TikTok in a month. Not to fucking brag or anything, but your boy's out here, all right, on that 50K tip on TikTok in like 2 months, right? Well, here's the worst part. I got the 50K on TikTok, and then I haven't gotten anywhere past that. It took 1 month, but then I haven't gotten anywhere past that, essentially. So it's like, okay, all right, I shouldn't brag about it. But yeah, I've always been that way. I've always been that way in the channel where it's been underground, right? It's been a little bit of a, hey, you watch Pigcake? Oh, you watch Pigcake? Yeah, he's a little bit weird, right? Yeah, I know he's weird. I like it. Yeah, I know, right? Let's not talk about him though. Let's not do anything because let's keep it underground, right? Keep it where it's cool. That's how I feel people talk about my channel, without hyperbole. The core audience is still here. We weed the strong from the weak. Yeah, I guess that. That's I like that better, right? I prefer that. I remember watching one of Ramsey's live stream. God, that was a fucking shit show. It's like, yeah, okay, you have 20,000 people watching or 5,000 people watching, I think, for that one, and you fucking like you can't read any of the comments, you can't see any of the things, and then everything is just coming through, and they're coming through way too quickly. So there's no time to look through any specific comments. You're looking at comments that happened 14 minutes ago because by the time you read it and address it, you've already had 20,000 comments. So I'm not a fan of that. I rather keep it like this. Actually, no, I'd rather have success. I'd rather have success, but with the ability to still be able to, individually conversate. That's what I want. That's what I want. The level 99 virginity community in here. That's what's up. There you go. Wolf guard the pen. That's what I'm talking about. Virgin gang. Gang. The gay gang. We're the gang that's repping the pink colors, dude. That's what we do out here. We repping it. I'm going to put this in my back pocket so everybody knows I'm repping the gay gang flag. You could see it, right? You grab my butt in public and I turn around and it's a dude. That's fine because I'm wearing a pink flag. All right. As I learned in gangland, a handkerchief is referred to as a flag in the gang community. The more you know. What's your best tip for somebody who wants to start YouTube videos in Magic? I've been in a Magic game for a fair amount of time, and I would love to start making tutorial videos. I get that question a lot. And it's I heard you had beef with Pandrea. I don't have any beef with Pandrea. I'll refer to that in a bit. But when it comes to getting attention from YouTube, obviously I'm not the best person to ask because of my constantly flailing channel, right? But in terms of how it is that I've gotten to where I'm at currently in YouTube, which is not saying much, but it's definitely a lot more than the majority of people, I would say, right? Without sounding like I'm bragging too hard, but you want to be different enough that you stand out, but not different enough to the point where you're copying the people that are trying to be different. I think that's the best advice because you need to be different enough that you stand out and that you're doing something differently than other people, whether that's in how you're saying it, how it's looking, how it's presented, to what capacity. You want to make sure that you're being different enough, but not different to the point where you're being the same as the people that also know that. You're essentially coming full circle and you're being different, but you're also the same as all the people being different. You see what I mean there? It's a little bit of a weird twist in logic, but break it down and it makes sense. So you want to get to the point where you're different enough when you stand down or you stand down, stand back, stand by. If you when you want to be different enough to where you stand out in a crowd of people doing the same shit, but you don't want to be different enough to where you're copying or you're similar to those people that are, I'm different. Look at the way I'm doing it. I'm different, dude. You don't want to be those guys because that's fake different. You want to be genuine different. So different, you just got to alienate the people that make up the core viewers. That's also something I've had an issue with as well because as you could see by my many classics on this channel, not limited to the Cannibal, Holocaust card trick, Black Lives Matter card trick, Oil and Gaze card trick, right? Obviously, I've had a little bit of content that's alienated certain people, and I've tried to come around and dumb down the sort of humor and the sort of edginess that I had when I started out the channel, just to see if I could grow. Because this is my living, this is how I make money, this is how I eat. So obviously, I need to still be able to. Be approachable. So if you're a new person that doesn't understand it, you still watch the videos and you still kind of get it, but not alienate alienate the difference that made you watch that video to begin with. I don't know if that makes sense. So it's very it's hard. Honestly, it's hard, and I think that you really need to find the way of doing it that makes you different to everybody else, and it's going to be difficult to find that. Some people don't have it. Honestly, some people don't have it, and they try to, and it's manufactured, and at that point, you're just copying somebody else. So that's the struggle, and certain things you don't know what's going to blow up, you don't know what's going to get to the point that might be depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for just bookings and gigs, you might see YouTube in a different way. If you want to get popular, if you want to get famous, if you want to, you're going to have mass appeal. You're going to have to do videos that are broad that could be watched by anyone. Look at Rise Magic. They did ASMR. That got him up. Ramsey started with puzzles. Blew him up. McKinnon was doing camera stuff. They all started off as magic channels. All of them started off doing card tricks, doing street magic, doing very very basic shit in terms of card magic. The moment they found something that they stuck to that and they found infinite success. So it's a lot of things. It's definitely a lot of things. But I would say try to be different than the other people doing the same shit, right? We got Rick. Rick, what's up, dog? For YouTube, also plan enough videos, ideas for 6 months and a year before you start. That's great. Yeah. You never want to be in a situation where you're stagnant for ideas. Luckily, with Magic, there's an infinite resource in terms of what you could pull from, but it's the way you present it that I think matters. It's the way you present it, and that's something that I've also found myself kind of struggling with, not recently, because obviously there's an infinite pool of stuff to talk about when it comes to Magic, but I've just found a little bit of difficulty when it comes to presenting it in a way that has broad appeal, but I'm enjoying it and also is different. So it's a difficult thing to do, right? But that's with any creative work. It's just that this is in this particular form of media. But it's a really rough thing. If you really just want to make sure that you got the basics down, make sure that your video at least sounds good, right? If you're shooting on your phone, whatever, just make sure it sounds good, right? That's something I've literally struggled with for the past 4 fucking years, struggling finding the right presets, finding the same things. I got these, which to me I think is the best thing I've ever bought in my entire fucking life. These Rode mics. Look at that, wireless, boys, wireless dogs. Look at that. I could be in the kitchen right now. And these have definitely made things a lot easier for that. So little things like that also make a difference in terms of quality, because you don't want to have a shite quality thing. That's that. I think that's a good way to answer that. Let's see. Magic Gay Hands is still the best video you've ever released. What's something that I struggle with on a daily basis. Okay? It's something that I struggle with on a daily basis. So I hope that you are not struggling with Magic Gay Hands as well. It's something that, Rick, you could probably attest to Magic Gay Hands as a coin worker. It's hard to do it, right? Like, look at this. If I want to make a card vanish, right? Like, let's say, look at this. Look at that, right? It's hard for me not to do the Magic Gay Hands. It's hard for me not to do that because I want to do this. I want to do this and then ditch it and then do this. I want to do that. And fuck you with the sound. I know you could hear it, all right, you cunt. Look at that.
I want to do this.
You could hear it. You could hear it. All right, buddy? Buddy, you could definitely hear it. I could see it right there, and I could hear it, you cunt. Don't make me get the hands out. All right? Don't make me get the hands out, because once I get the hands out, I'm not going to stop until the job's done. All right there? It's like me with anal. I don't stop until it's over. You were in the between stage where, hold up, I liked the in between stage where he was kind of a variety YouTuber. He did puzzles, magic vlogs, and tutorials. Yeah, I like the magic stuff. I don't watch the puzzle stuff as much, but when it comes to I don't like the puzzle stuff as much. I watch them from time to time, but the magic shit is the best. The magic shit. I remember he had a video where he emptied out his closet. He had a whole collection. He bought this thing. He did this kit. That's the shit that I'm like digging. I watched that shit. I'm like, yeah, this is hot. I like this. But the puzzle stuff, I never enjoyed that. And I like puzzle videos. That's the odd part. I like watching like Mr. Puzzle. I like watching all of that, but I don't know. Just the magic stuff is what I really like to stick my fingers in and go, yeah, Ramsey, do it to me. Show me that box. You know. Slidini had a serious case of MGH. I heard he eventually died of it. I heard that he was a cross-dresser. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I heard that from certain people that he dressed in women's clothes. Maybe he was doing that when he was doing the helicopter trick, right? When he was doing the whole thing with the coins. Yeah, but he had a significant one. I think it just might be because of... he was Italian, right? Was he Italian? I think it was Italian. Slidini. Chris, great to hear you talk about your creative process. I've had these thoughts as well when making content, trying to find that happy balance between marketability, originality, and uniqueness. Yeah, I love watching your shit on Instagram, by the way. You had this thing that looked like a 90s thing the other day that I watched it. I'm like, this fucking guy. Hello? The fuck? But that's the hard part is finding that triangle, is making sure that you have that triangle and making something that at the end of the day is not going to make you stop doing it. Because the moment you feel like it's like, oh shit, now I'm just doing it to do it. I think that also has a hindrance on your creative process. The moment it starts feeling like a dread to do, oh shit, now I gotta do this or I gotta find that. I haven't had that. Luckily, I haven't had that. I've been doing this shit for since 2016. I've been doing magic a lot longer. There were certainly times when I took a break from magic, like a couple months here or there, but I haven't found that time in YouTube where I'm dreading doing it, or for Patreon or for anything else. I don't have any sort of dread as to doing anything yet. That could change, obviously, as we all do grow. But at least now, I've always enjoyed the fact that I've been able to do this. I've been able to do this essentially. You know, I got fired from one gig for some fucking stupid shit that I think was not my fault. You cunts doing some shady shit, and I've been able to make it work. You know, been able to make that thing work, dog. Are you partaking the super straight thing going on right now? I've been seeing that a lot on TikTok, the super straight people, and I like it. I like it because it's pissing people off, same people that were bitching about other things, right? And I think that we should all be allowed to do things that we want, right? Like if, one of course, with limits. So if you like to murder small, cute, innocent children, obviously there's a limit, right? But I'm saying like if you want to put some content that's offensive, by all means do it. Fuck yeah, why the fuck not? You know. So I think that's what they're doing. They're essentially trolling and staying within the rules. It reminds me of the Pastafarian, if you're familiar with that particular movement, where you had a group of people that decided to open up a church for pasta. They had a flying pasta monster and all that shit, and they were just poking at the idea of the government not taxing churches and them trying to be represented as a genuine religion, and they did everything they needed to do it. And I think they're tax exempt, from my understanding. I think that they're actually a accredited, legitimate religious institution. So that's the sort of thing that these super straight guys are doing. They're playing by the rules. They're playing by the rules that were laid out, and I think the rules are meant to. If the rules are established that way and they're playing within the rules, I mean, if you made the game and I'm playing the game by the rules that you made, you can't be complaining afterwards and then change the rules because I found an exploit. So that's your fault. But I like it. I like that shit. Are you partaking? Okay, I already read that. I'm a retard. How often do you buy books and tricks from other folks these days? You know, not often. Not often. When it comes to books and shit, right now what I'm going through like all these old ass, like fucking terrible PDFs from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. I've been going through those a lot. You find a lot of those online, and I've been going through a lot of those and just looking at the old content and looking at the old mentality when it comes to magic and stuff. But it's really rare for me to buy stuff. I don't want to brag. I don't want to really say anything. But I think that if I ask anybody that's come up with a product and be like, hey, man, you mind if, can you send me that over? Send me that. I think that they'll do it. I'm thinking I'm at that point where I at least know enough people in the magic gay community where, hey, man, that looks cool. You mind if I get it? I'll put it on a channel or do some shit. And I don't want to bust the influencer card. Hey, man, I'll put it out on my channel. But, people send me shit. I think I've gotten to that point. And I'm very grateful to it. I'm very grateful to it because I never thought I'd be in that position. When I was younger, I looked up. I'm writing this in my lecture notes, as a matter of fact, about when I was younger. I idolized these magicians that I watched on video, that I would look up to them, and I've realized, oh my God, look at the reactions they're getting. That's what I want to do. That's where I want to be. And then you meet them, and then you fucking meet them, and I'm like, oh, you're the same as I am. You're not any different. As a matter of fact, kind of a dick. Kind of a dick. I'm kind of a dick too, right? But at the same time, it's we have this idolization thing that takes place when we're studying from someone and we look up to that. And I had that when I was younger, and I've realized they're all the same thing. We're all the same people. We're all trying to do the same things, trying to grind it to make it work. to eat, and you can't really see anybody to that extent. I forgot what the question was in regards to that, but let's see. Also, what's some good what the fuck was the question? I got me ranting on that. Jesus. Also, what's some good tips you have for YouTube and a little bit of Europe, but any advice is good. I had a nice little segment there talking about YouTube, so I guess you could play that back. Hell yeah, brother. Let's go to a super straight bar in South Florida. If you're ever in fucking South Florida and you don't reach out to me, I will end you, Chris. Do you understand that? If you're ever down here at any point in time and you don't fucking say, hey, what's up, dog? I think it's over. I think it's over between us. The little anal possible, the little possibility of anal that we have is gone because of that, Chris. So I really hope that if you're ever down here, you tell me. Let's see. Do you have any advice how to personally evolve in your craft without depending on what you already know, seeing through fresh eyes, approaching it with the fresh mindset that you started? Yes and no. It's hard to. It's hard to. And I've always said that learning is a double-edged sword. I fucking hate how gay this is sounding, but I think it's good advice. Learning is a double-edged sword, right? There's nothing I love more than having a layperson trying to figure out a trick and coming up with solutions for a trick, because the stuff that they come up with is so creative and is so weird and off the wall and stuff that we would never think, because we're boxed in to a mentality of, I know these tricks, I know these sleights, how am I going to do this with what I know, right? Whereas a layperson, they don't know shit. They don't know shit. They don't know a double lift from a gunt, right? But because they don't know anything, the way they come up with stuff is so innovative that you can't help but fucking get inspired by it. So I've always found it interesting whenever a spectator is coming up with a method. And one of the good things is now with Fool Us, right? You can look at the comments and you're gonna get a lot of lay people coming up with certain methods. Some of them are shit. Most people have no idea about physics or anything. But sometimes you find some interesting things that you would have never thought of because you're thinking in terms of what you know, which is double lift, control, palm, yada yada yada, this subtlety, that subtlety. They're not thinking in that. They're not confined by that. They're confined by what's known to them and what's realistic to them. You know, again, some retards say, "Oh, magnets," right? Without having any sort of fucking knowledge that there's no way that he's going to be able to use magnets. Oh, maybe the stage is coated with ice, and then the ice has a property of cold, and like some of them are just absolutely absurd. But I don't know. When it comes to evolving and having that same sort of drive when it's like fucking you're never gonna have that same high, right? I've never smoked marijuana, right? I've never smoked it, nor do I condone it. But some people like it. Some people like it, right? You're never gonna be as high, or you're never gonna have as good of a high as that first time, right? Same thing with pretty much anything. You have a certain food, right? You're never gonna have it taste as good as the first time. You're never gonna have it. For me, the first time I ever had a vanilla Coke, right? Look how virgin of a reference this is. But the first time I ever had a vanilla Coke, every subsequent time after that, it's never been as good. It's only ever as good as that first time. So you're never going to have that. And I think the moment you realize that you're never going to be to that beginning stage when you were wondered by everything and where everything was new and novel, you're never going to get that again. But it's about making what you already have be novel. The other day, not to bring him up because I hate to give him any credit whatsoever. I hate to give Peter Turner any fucking credit. All right. Why? Because he's a tall piece of shit. All right. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. And I'll say that to his face. All right. And I can't wait to go over there to the UK and fucking clip his stupid knee. But the other day, right? The other day, he holds up a card. He holds up a fucking card. You know what? I'm going to hold up the exact same card that I think he had. And I hope you can't see it in the mirror. Right? But he goes, I'm not trying to influence you. I promise. I'm not trying to influence you. Let me see if I can find it. Hold up. I forgot the fucking card. I think I forgot the fucking card. Fuck. This one. He holds up a card and he goes, I'm not trying to influence you, but he goes, you need a haircut, Right? He goes, "It's time for a haircut, pig boy. If I'll tell you what, all you have to do is just or I forgot how he worded it, but he fucking tells me, I'm not trying to influence you. You can name whatever card you want, but if I'm holding that card, you're gonna need to get the haircut that I tell you to get, right? And I fucking name a card. I named the two of clubs. I named the two of clubs, and he goes, "Are you happy with the suit, or are you happy with the value?" And I go, "You know what, Turner? Fuck you. I'm happy with the value." And he goes, "Okay, so change the suit then. What do you want to change the suit to?" And I go, two of diamonds, two of diamonds. And he goes, "I want you to get like a fucking thing over here, and then I want you to do this on top." And that moment, it's I felt like I fucking didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about magic at that point, and I hate it. I fucking hate him for that. And it's you need to have little feelings like that, like little times when you're fooled and there's no fucking way, and you kind of get tricked again, like you did when you were starting off in magic. But it's hard to come across. It's hard to come across. But I think if you have enough interaction with other people that you enjoy being with, that you enjoy talking to with in terms of magic, that you're gonna get that same feeling again. Jeff Lancaster, I apologize for having such a long-winded answer to that. But I remember the last time, and that was recent. That was like a week and a half ago, right? That I just had this fucking random moment, and I felt like everything in magic to me was gone. I don't need it anymore. What a piece of shit. Fuck it. All from little things like that. So try to find those little things. Try to find instances where that happens. And to me, typically, in the times that people have performed for me and done certain things for me, when I went up to Magi Fest in Ohio, I was fucking getting that all the time. I was like, how the fuck? What? In what planet? Blew my mind. Blew my fucking mind. And it's not about being fooled. It's not about being fooled. It's not about you not knowing the method, right? Because I know the method, right? The psychological force. That's all it is. There's no subtlety. There's no nothing. You know the method. It's not about getting fooled. It's about just realizing your position. That's what it is. You are watching something that reinforces your position and that reminds you that your shit stink. That's what you need from time to time. And I got that quite often. A while back, I taught a 7-year-old a simple triumph trick. A week later, he came back with his own ideas how to perform with business cards. I've since adapted half my tricks to work that way, right? You'd be astonished. Anytime you show something to somebody, and lay people would come up with the craziest shit, the craziest methods, and sometimes they come up with a method that could be better than yours, and a more creative method, and a more novel method, and something that might have you work on something else, or something that might work for something else that you didn't think of. Sometimes they come up with shit methods. You see me scratch my balls, by the way? I've realized that with the mirror in the background. If I need to scratch my nuts, you could see it. But yeah, that happens so much, and I love it anytime you talk to a competent individual. I remember there was one time that this doesn't have anything to do with that, but I remember I showed a friend of mine this. I think it was I Predict, right? I Predict for the phone, and I had it there, and I tell him, "Hey man, call me." Or actually, sorry, go ahead, name any card you want. Name any card, and the person names the card, and I go, "Do you want to change your mind?" They go, "No, no, fuck you. I'm just staying with this card." And I go, "I mean, I'm asking you to change your mind because I don't know if you know this, but I changed my voicemail recently. Go ahead and call me." And they call me, and when they call me, at the end of the voicemail, you say the name of the card. And he fucking lost his shit for years. He would ask me how the fuck I did this. It'd be like, the only way to do it is if you, I don't know, you had like 52 different voicemails, and you had some sort of thing that rerouted your voicemails so that whenever I named a card, it would reroute to the right voicemail. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's it. He goes, yeah, but that's stupid. There's no way you do that because that means that you'd have to record it 52 different times. And there's no one that would ever record 52 different voicemails. There was no one that would ever record themselves saying the name of a card or saying the name of different cards just so that they could do a trick, right? Nobody would ever do that. Little did he know, the extent of my virginity knows no bounds, rather. So I just remember that. That was a fun time. Uh, let's see. Sounds like Big Brother. Sounds like Big Brother, right? No, it was I Predict. It was I Predict Pro. Could have been. I don't know. You can't do voicemails with that. I'm pretty sure with Big Brother it'd be a little bit harder to do. Let's see. Yeah, after I learned how to do it, I was so confused. It was so simple, but never realized it. And PNT didn't either, right? Really? I mean, it wasn't fooling with the. Oh, well, okay. I guess we're not talking about being fooled. But Kostia, I mean, yeah, he's just really good at fucking spread calls. But I don't think it was fooling per se. I don't know. Might have just been me. Then again, I did get fooled by Jabrizi. I got fooled by Jabrizi when he did the dime in the sugar packet. I've admitted it before, all right, and I'll admit it now. I've been fooled by that. Why? Because in my head, I thought there's no way this guy just cut a hole in the fucking sugar packet and put the thing in there as he was pretending to rub it. There's no fucking way. There's no way he did that. And guess what? That's exactly how he did it. That is exactly how he did it. I hate it when you say no audio because there's a part of me that might think, hey, I hate it when you say no audio because there's a part of me that might think, hey, fuck you, okay? All right, fuck you. Stupid, dumbass, making me fucking check my audio, okay? All right, you know who you are, both of you, all of you, making fun of my fucking audio, saying it doesn't work. It fucking works. Stupid. So can you do magic as in manipulation of vibrational energy? That's actually what my mother does. My mother does that. All right. And every time I watch her do that, I go, Mom, fuck you doing, mother? What are you doing? I'm kidding. That's funny. That's literally, we were talking about that the other day with Bill Montana's Penguin Magic lecture, where he's talking about pretending to hold orbs, and then giving spectators orbs that they hold, right? And they fucking place in their hands, and they could feel these energy balls or whatnot. Again, it's all psychological influence. It's all psychological. You are not literally manifesting an orb. You are merely giving the spectator the sensation that they are through psychological means. So it's not it's a mental. Technically, you are manifesting something that wasn't there before, which is an imaginary object. You're doing it in their heads, but it does have an effect on them, right? It does have an effect on them, especially if they're the type to be primed by that sort of particular effect. So I guess I do cock magic. It gets pretty intense, says Thomas Azur. Oh man, it's gotten to that part of the stream, huh? It's gotten to that part of the stream. I do cock magic. That's the extent of our humor here. I do cock magic. Cock magic. That's Daniel level humor. I feel like Beetlejuice. I feel like what do you call this? Beetlejuice. You know, you're doing the ham radio's mic's gain is high. I know. I've told that to Daniel. I've told that to Daniel many times. And he goes, no, man, the fucking audio sounds great. I'm like, yeah, when you play the audio back, it's coming out of your Samsung TV, which has two speakers, and it makes it sound better than most people are hearing it on their phone or on headphones or on a fucking laptop. And they go, no, the audio gain is fine. I'm aware of that. And next time I'm going to fix it, or I'm going to fix it because I don't trust them with the audio. I'm like, could you lift up mine? No, it sounds great. It sounds great. You heard the playback. Oh... Let's see. Audio and the fucking audio. You cunts lying to me about the audio is not working. The best thing I've ever been fooled by was a key card. Some girl dressed up a key card trick to its fullest potential. It melted my brain. Some girl. Girls don't do magic. Look at me being sexist. I want to be on that feminist podcast so bad. Have me in there, please. Have me in there. Please. All right. I want to be in there. I want to debate with you. I want to, I don't know, talk about magic and feminism and how, you know, I don't know. what are they saying? Women don't have as much as, you know, they can't be as popular as men when it comes to cards. Yes, you can. Yes, you fucking can. You have every capacity to be as popular as the male magicians. There's no organization that's going, hey, we're gonna get these women and we're gonna downplay their effect on magic. I've always said it. The real magicians on stage shows are the assistants, not the magician, right? They're not the the magician's doing this, right? Look at Hans Klock. Hans Klock, he's got the worst case of magic hands, but he's just doing this right? And then the fucking assistant is hiding inside of a crevice. Is hiding inside of a small crevice, essentially, doing all the work. Women can't do magic. They can. They can do magic. They can do magic excellently. They can do magic well. There is one caveat though. When they do shit magic, people tell them that they're doing great magic because they're afraid to offend them. I think that if you want equality, they should all understand, as we all should, that just because you don't have something between your legs doesn't make you better at something just because you're a woman. It's still the same thing, right? There are generally amazing female magicians. They're great magicians at the end of the day, but there are also some shit magicians that happen to be female that people say, "Whoa, you're great. You're amazing. I've never seen magic like this before." And the truth of the matter is that it's not. It's subpar shit magic. But just because she happens to have a no penis, they say she's great. So it's a downside. I think having a feminist mentality when it comes to magic is a very it's a sword. It's a one-sided sword that you're holding wrong, for a terrible comparison to make. But it's not a good thing because it really puts down the good female magicians and it branches them in with the shit female magicians. It branches them in with them. Whereas these generally ones are general magicians are talented and great and fantastic. They're put down by the other shit ones. They're on the fucking shite ones. I think you featured a great female magician a while back on the stream. Oh, let's not talk about that, okay? Let's not talk about me giving a female, all right, female in 2021, a 7.5. Okay, buddy, a buddy. Okay, let's not delve on that. If anything, it makes me progressive. All right, I don't understand why people have tried and have said some rude comments about me and my affiliations. Right, I'm just as progressive as you are, my friend. All right, making accusations, baseless accusations about me and my, uh, you know, beliefs. I'm very progressive. What's your favorite trick that has a deliberately discrepant phase? Well, my favorite switch per se is the Jinx change, which is very discrepant, right? Is this thing? Let's see. So let's say you have this. That's the switch. That's my favorite switch, and it's the Jinx change. Obviously, it looks like shit on camera without a context, but it's one of my favorite switches, and I love it because it's very discrepant, and it looks like it shouldn't make sense, but it makes sense. It makes sense, especially when you are paying attention. Sorry, when you're involved or invested in a trick. It's one of my favorite ones. It's one of my favorite ones. So things like that, Out of This World is one that's great. There's a great variation of Out of This World called Dunn's Deal, which is on the True Astonishment box series, that has pretty much the entire end of the trick is discrepancy, right? Because you deal the cards in two piles and then you push them together and then you deal the cards and you see that there's a pattern in the cards. So they're red, 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 a little bit of mix, and then black, right? Wonderful version of the trick. Probably one of my favorite methods of doing it. And it doesn't make sense if you think about it logically because you're having to mix the cards after they've dealt them into two piles. So why would they still be in this pattern? But every time I've done that trick, I've never failed to get a reaction that's like, oh, what the fuck was that? Like a very internal sort of reaction as to how they could have possibly gotten to this position because it looks absolutely fair. Ivan Amadai is the greatest magician of all time. Changed my mind. Who the fuck is Mario Judah? Who the fuck is Ivan Amadei? Who the fuck is that? I don't know who that is. I like the invisible deck. It's a great impromptu anytime. Yeah, but that's not discrepant. He's talking about discrepancies, like things that shouldn't make sense, but they make sense. So it's like, oh wait, how did that get to that? Like it's that sort of thing. So uh, that example that I gave of the Out of This World, that little thing doesn't make sense, but it flies by. With invisible deck, it's just a great trick. Um, oh, that gay, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. CJG, thank you for bringing that up. like female comedians. The assistants really do 90% of the work in stage shows. They do 95% of the work. I would argue 99% in some magicians that I've seen, that they're literally the ones doing all the work and the magician is just doing this. Thank you. That's all they do. That's all they're fucking doing. While their assistant is literally turning into an ant, fucking using alchemy to turn themselves into an ant so they fit in a small crevice that's put in a shoebox and they come out of the shoebox. And you're taking credit with your sweaty fucking chinos that you bought at Express, right? So, yeah, that's my rant on that, which is a very progressive take on it, right? That's a very progressive take on it. Have me on the Feminist Podcast. I think that'll be a fun conversation. What's this one? They can match. Okay, so we have a bunch of misogynist comments here, a bunch of comments regarding misogyny, saying some gross, disgusting things like women can make your penis rise. Gross, nasty. I don't stand for that. All right, I don't stand. Even though both my cultures are deeply rooted in massive misogyny, right? Patriarchal thinking. I guess Latin American tends to lean on the man, right? Working, the women takes care of the kids. Arab culture, subservient pretty much, right? Women are subservient to the men. You have 20 wives, essentially, that each do your bidding. So that's what I'm dealing with. That's what I'm repressing. My favorite magician of all time was a guy who coughed out metal penises and conjured up sewer water. I think you're talking about, what's his name? Charlie? The winning guy? What's his fucking name? You know who I'm talking about, right? He was on Two and a Half Men. I can't believe I don't remember his name, but that's probably more than they do. How did you do that? Says Gabriel Ruiz. You have a dab emoji. There's a dab emoji, I think, right? Isn't there? There's a little bit of a dab emoji. I don't think that's anything different. There's a mask emoji, which is kind of nuts. There's a little bit of a mask emoji. There's a bunch of them. The one that I hate that they changed is the gun. They took a gun and they put a water thing, right? You think that somebody's ever looked at a gun emoji and been like, yeah, yeah, that's going to make me commit crime. That's going to make me commit crime for sure. Looking at that gun emoji, oh boy, guns are so normalized in society. I'm just going to pick one up and shoot it in the air. Yep, I'm not even going to look. Look at that, trick shots. Mom, look at this trick shot. I could do this with this gun. Why? Oh yeah, because I saw an emoji on my iPhone and it normalized guns in my head, as did Call of Duty. I've realized that playing these games has brainwashed my mind into thinking that violence is normal, mother. So things like that is the reason why. I can't believe they took that shit out. It's the dumbest shit. It's the dumbest mentality. And it's, I guess, the wokeness that we're experiencing in this recent time period in our lives. Charlie Sheen. I apologize. Thank you, Fred, CJG. All right, I appreciate you guys bringing up such an obvious celebrity that everybody knows. But I'm a retard. Let's be honest, guys. I'm a red-blooded retard. So let's see. How long have we been here? We've been doing this for an hour and 28 minutes. I think that's good, right? I'm not going to end this now, but let's see what else is going on. Do we have any other topics here that we want to get into? Any other topics before I decide to dab out of existence? I don't know. Maybe keep this up to like 1:45. Do like an hour and 45 minutes. Maybe that sounds good. But I don't know what's going on in the Magic community. I know that from time to time people tell me like, hey, did you see this? Did you see that beef? Did you see this beef? There's a beef that I saw recently with Eric Ross. Eric Ross is a magician that I met in Magi Fest. I've met him in all the Magi Fests I've been to. He's a great guy. He's funny as shit. He recently came out with a hook through Lost Art Magic. He's a really funny dude. Really funny fuck. I was hammered with him quite often in Ohio when I went up there. And he posted something on his Instagram about having some sort of beef with a trick that was produced by Murphy's Magic, and I think Taiwan Ben. So there's some beef going on with that, if I'm not familiar. But I saw that. I don't know much about that, right? I don't know much about that, but I do know that that was going on. But that's the only beef that I know. That's the only beef that I'm familiar with in the magic community. Do you smoke cigars? Yeah, I smoke cigars. As a matter of fact, let's look at my collection here. Let's look at my shit collection. This is not my good cigars. These are what I like to refer to as the everydays, right? You have a nice little jar here. You have the humidor. Obviously, I keep it like shit. And these are my beach cigars right here. These are Trader Jack's. They're nice. This one tastes like shit. This one is good. This one is nice. Honey. It's a nice little honey thing. I realized that being a Cuban male, one of the things that's deeply rooted in my blood are cigars. Are cigars. So why not embrace it? Smoke cigars. Some good studies on that so far, and I like smoking cigars. I've never smoked a cigarette in my entire life, um, but cigars I enjoy it. It's a nice little bit of a what do you call it? It's a meditative experience. Give us an example of what we could learn in your mentalism patron section. Well, that one is it's definitely my favorite one. Obviously, I'm biased, but on the mentalism one, I like it because my favorite type of magic is mentalism, right? It's the one that I've spent the most time thinking about. It's the one that I spend the most time writing about and trying to create stuff for. And it's the one that I feel like I care the most about. I love card magic, don't get me wrong, but mentalism is definitely my favorite type. And I hope that the stuff that I've put on the Patreon side of the mentalism academy is good. I really hope that it's enough that people like it. I've put some good stuff there when it comes to like out of this world stuff, some a lot of billet work. As a matter of fact, the one for tomorrow is going to be a thinking about. I know, right? It's related. It's related. Thinking mentalism. Tomorrow I'm going to put a little bit of a Q&A, another Q&A. That's another thing that I'm obsessed with, Q&A acts. Believe it or not, you never look at me and wonder, did you know that at some point in my life, I wanted to be a hypnotist, a professional hypnotist, and not on a stage show. I wanted to be a hypnotist, and I wanted to do a dissertation on hypnosis. That's something that I really wanted to do for a long time. That was my goal. I wanted to somehow do a dissertation on some aspect of hypnosis, and that's how I wanted to get my degree in psychology. Then that went away. That went away, and then I started, teaching, and that distracted me from that. So that's something that I want to do. So I'm a huge fan of that style of thinking of hypnosis. I'm a huge fan of thinking about how we could and mentalism truly is that last, I guess, is that last frontier of magic that is real. Technically, right? It could be perceived as real. If I find a card, if I put it in the middle, if it comes to the top, they know what's going on, right? But if I tell them the word they're thinking of, or a name, or something, even anything that's remotely mentalism hinted, even if I tell them the card that they're thinking of, right? There's still a little bit of credibility there that isn't around in magic. There's a credibility that you can never get with magic that you have with mentalism, and it's always been the case. So that's why I love mentalism, and it's this thing that you could really play around with because people think it's real. People think that somehow you know how to get this information. You've learned this thing. So I've done a trick where I've literally done a trick. I think I've mentioned this before, but I've done for people this Dr. Daly's last trick, right, with aces, and I had this stupid pattern of palm reading. I had this dumb little pattern of palm reading, and then I was asked afterwards if I could read palms and how interested or how much these people were interested in reading palms in their future and shit, just because I used it in the pattern of a fucking card trick. So these things resonate with people. Things that we do in mentalism, in pendulums and fucking hypnosis and fucking naming things and star signs. People see those as real. They don't see it as tricks. They see it as real, which is why I love mentalism. And it's that final frontier that I think we could definitely take advantage of and have legitimate um, moments with people. I hope that answers your question. I think Darren Brown's whole perspective of the magic happening within their own mind truly makes it feel like magic. Yes, but again, not to beat a dead horse here, but I think what Darren Brown did was a double-edged sword, and same thing that David Blaine did. Where they innovated, they also left a fucking cesspool of people trying to copy them and doing it shittily because they're not David Blaine, they're not Darren Brown. Darren Brown did the same thing when he popularized this physiological aspect of mentalism and really put this idea of, oh, I'm reading it, but I'm doing it based on what I'm looking at right now. There's nothing psychic about this. I'm trying to look at your, physiological components, and that's how I'm coming up with what you're thinking of, right? And he did that, and he fucking ruined it. He fucking ruined it. He hot shotted it essentially, to copy a term from a dated wrestling term, but he did it great, and he's wonderful, and he's a very skillful performer, and he's probably one of the fucking best mentalists to ever be. But unfortunately, what he did is that he's made a lot of people copy him and do it shittily, and unfortunately, that's just the byproduct of being so good that people want to copy you and people want to copy what it is that you're doing. So, because of his style, mentalism suddenly took this turn and became almost academic. And I think that there's a lot to that. I'm thinking of peepees. I'm always thinking of peepees. Do you like stimulus checks? I like stimulus checks. I don't like what they represent. I don't like what they represent, but I do like stimulus checks because it's money. How do you not like money? But it's your own money. That's the worst part. It's your own tax dollar, essentially, which I'm not looking forward to do. Every time I hear the word tax, I get a little bit of a vein here because it reminds me of the fact that I have to do my taxes soon, which I don't know if you know this, but if you're an individual that works for himself, you gotta you gotta pay them, right? Because they haven't been taking it out every month. So you gotta pay them. So I can't wait to do that. But yeah, I don't like what they represent. Can women molest men? Yeah. It's hard, but yeah. All right. Heading out. Good stream. Hey, man, thank you for joining, Thomas. I appreciate you, bro. Let's see. Patron is great, but when is the OnlyFans starting? I was thinking about it. I was thinking if I were to actually start an OnlyFans, would people sign up? Right? If I were to do an OnlyFans. But what would I do? Like fucking be shirtless and have cards cover my nipples? I can only do that for so long. Oh, so it'd be weird, but I'm pretty sure I'd be the first magician doing that. I'm sure. Probably the first, at least, straight magician doing that. Doesn't James Charles have a fucking OnlyFans? It's not a good look. I'll say, what else here? Hypnosis is cool. There's this real cool karate guy who does hypnosis, not the co-leader one, to help people work out without as much fatigue. Yeah, I think James Hydrick. That's a joke. James Hydrick was a guy who did martial arts, and he pretended to do psychic things like, move shit and like move pages of a book with his mind. And he also moved his penis into young boys. He moved his penis psychically into young boys. So he got, I think, arrested for child molestation or some shit like that. Interesting character. James Randi did a whole bit about him years ago, but he did martial arts and molested young boys. So not a good guy there. Not a good guy. Oh, let's see. On a side note, does the television provide a mild form of hypnosis? Yeah, of course. Anything, from what I've learned of hypnosis and looking into it and doing it and just being involved with it in the time that I have, which isn't a lot, but you don't really need a lot of time, I feel, to understand what is actually going on. And it's really just an odd state of mind. And it's not an altered state of mind. It's suggestive. Yeah, you're in a more suggested mood, but it's in the same sort of way that, for example, let's say you're on the phone and you're busy doing something. You're on the phone, maybe you're holding something, and somebody gives you like I don't know, like a statue of a cat, and you just hold it as you're talking to your phone, right? And you're gonna realize, why am I holding a fucking statue of a cat? Oh, because you were in a suggestible mode. You were in a suggestible state of mind, and somebody took advantage of that, gave you an instruction, and now you're fucking holding on to a statue of a cat randomly. A lot of people think that hypnosis is this weird, sleep thing, but it's not. It's really not. And, you've probably been hypnotized 4 or 5 times today somehow, whether that was you doing something that you've done repetitively, you driving, you walking, you in your mind, you thinking. You've probably been hypnotized today a bunch of times and not realized it by definition of hypnosis. So it's a weird thing, but a lot of people have a real lack of understanding of what it is, and they have these exaggerations. But those exaggerations end up helping you in the long run because 90% of a hypnotist's job is done the moment somebody shows up to the show. 90%. Because all it is belief. The belief that the hypnotist can hypnotize is enough to make his fucking job real. It's enough to make his powers real. It's enough to make enough of what he needs to do in order to get that audience to the suggestive state that they need is done by the fucking advertisement of you being a hypnotist. By you having hypnotist on your business card, that's 90% of the job. That's it. And a lot of people don't realize that. They just think, oh, it's the inductions. I want to learn the inductions. 90% of your work is done by the fact that they know that you're a hypnotist and their understanding of what hypnosis is. So that's a little bit of, I guess, trade secret. Why are you retracting to the comment was the best thing I've seen today. Yeah, him asking me if I like porn, right? You could tell his age based on that. How old are you? Umair Aziz, how old are you that you left a comment saying if I like porn and then took it out so you wouldn't get in trouble? I remember in elementary school, nobody fucking called you, Daniel. I remember in elementary school, I did this to a teacher once behind her back, right? I just did this. I did this. Like that. I thought I was cool. And some kid looks at me and goes, I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell her. And every time I saw this kid for the next 2 years until I left elementary school, he's going to be like, I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell her that you did that, that you fucking did that. And I believed it. I believed it. Every day I saw this kid, I'm like, let me avoid this kid so he doesn't tell the teacher, right? All that because of fucking this. Now that I realized it, if he would have told the teacher, you could just say, no, I didn't fucking do that. He's a liar. He's trying to get me in trouble. He wants attention. But I remember me thinking this would be enough to get me in trouble. Like an idiot, like a moron. So I'm sure Umar Aziz there thinks that he could get in trouble. So there's going to be a hypnotic placebo effect. Hypnotic placebo effect. I don't know. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes, there is. Because essentially, hypnosis is a giant placebo effect. That's all it is. At least in my experience, it's a giant placebo effect. But the difference with hypnosis is that you could be aware of it being a placebo effect and still be hypnotized to some capacity and still have some sort of phenomena, whether that's, if you tell somebody to imagine their hand raising, they'll do it, even if they're aware of the fact that hypnosis is a placebo effect. And if you ask them after, you ask them, hey, you question them later, they won't know what the fuck happened. They'll say, oh, I just felt like my hand was rising. Okay, great. Why didn't you open? I gave you the instruction that you wouldn't be able to pull your hands apart, and you couldn't. Why? I just couldn't. I felt like my hands were generally stuck together. But you said hypnosis wasn't real. It's all this. So you could be aware of hypnosis and still have things happen, which is the interesting part about it and the stuff that I love with it. But again, I feel like there's a huge misconception of it. And again, that's Darren Brown's fault. That's Darren Brown's fault because the moment he started doing hypnosis on a show, everything became hypnosis. Oh, he just hypnotized her to think that. Oh, he just hypnotized her to think or name that card. So everything became hypnosis. So the moment you add that to your show, that's it. You're fucked. Because now every subsequent thing is, yeah, he just told her to do that. That's it. Oh, what name any word in the world. Fucking troglodyte? Great. Look, I predicted troglodyte. Yeah, he just hypnotized her before the show, told her to name troglodyte, and then he just printed that out. That's it. Simple. And that's his fault because he introduced that to his own show. He introduced doing the fucking hypnosis in his own stuff. But I think that's a good one. I think this has been a good stream. Almost coming up to an hour and 45 minutes. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. I did another live stream yesterday. Obviously, I don't think it was as good because it kept pausing because of my internet connection. But guess what? I've realized I'm just going to do them on my phone from now on. I don't need production value. I don't even need a life. I do magic tricks. That's not a life. So I'm just going to do these from now on my phone. Fuck any OBS. Fuck computers. Live streams are doing it there. I'm just going to do it here from now on because fuck it. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Appreciate y'all. I don't know when I'll be back. Maybe on Sunday, possibly. But apart from that, make sure to always I don't know, wipe your pee when you pee, right? And then wipe it. Make sure to do that. Wipe it. That's a good advice.